The day that you realize why these straitway communities are forcing their members to sign these covenant contracts will be the day that you realize that this ministry is off. One thing I discovered recently was that there's a 14-point checklist that the IRS has that you need to be able to check off with your church in order to get tax exemption status. Don't believe me? Go look it up. But how do you think Straitway has gotten tax exemption status? By checking each of the boxes. This 14-point checklist was created by the CIA. Why? Because groups of believers together is dangerous to the government. So they put a carrot in front of all these churches' faces, a carrot on a stick, to make them do what they want them to do, or at least put them in a box. And the carrot is tax exemption. Similar to getting a marriage license, you get benefits if you get a marriage license, right? But you also lose rights. You also lose certain privileges. So if you look at Straitway, they've made a lot of changes in the last couple years. Go read their bylaws on the Straitway Truth website. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That's why they're implementing these covenant contracts, because they got to have what they call a vow of poverty statement, similar to what the Catholic Church is, learning the ways of the heathens, right? In order for you to gain some sort of benefit from the United States government. But what did Jesus say? When people came to him and asked him, should we pay taxes? This was a question in Jesus' day. And what did Jesus say? Go look at the dollar bill. What does it say on it? Whose is it? Federal Reserve note. Okay, so give the Federal Reserve what's the Federal Reserve's, and give to Yah what is Yah's. Isn't that what Jesus said? So if we're going contrary to that, isn't it what he says to one, he says to all? So if you're going and have to jump through all of these hoops, essentially put all of your members as slaves to the controller of these foundations in order for you to get tax exempt, that's borderline anti-Messiah. It's borderline anti-Christ, because Jesus didn't tell you to do that. Jesus just told you to give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to Yah what is Yah's. It's ridiculous. I really hope you guys go in and you look at what it means to inure yourself. I-N-U-R-E. What does that mean? Because if you got tax exemption status and your pastor or your leader is inuring himself, you're in big trouble. You know, it's funny. You see videos that Pastor Dow makes talking about Rufus with the ATF, blah, 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 blah. But what you're going to realize pretty soon is that the very things that these people wished to happen to others is going to fall back on their own heads. Make videos about Rufus with the ATF, right? Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. I wonder if anybody has evidence of saints a part of Straitway making alcohol at their communities and bringing it to another community to sell it during the feast. I wonder if that's legal. I wonder if anybody has evidence about ordering guns that are 80% lowers, assembling them, milling them out with a ghost gunning machine, and transporting them across state lines. I hope you're not selling them, because that'd be illegal. And that's what the ATF really cracks down on. So it's going to be interesting to see who are the people who really get in trouble for these things, who are the people who are really doing these things within the ministry. It's funny, the very things that they accuse other people of, it seems to be that that's the very thing that they're doing themselves. You got people saying Pastor Dow is the Moses of this generation. Okay. Show me in the Word where Moses ever took a vacation. Why is your pastor having to take a vacation? He can't handle 1,000 people? Moses dealt with 600,000 people, and he never took a vacation. You got Moses of this generation, you got to take 5 vacations a year just so that way he doesn't lose his goddamn mind. I can't even call Pastor Dow anymore. I'm calling him, from now on, I'm calling him Pastor Giza Matz. And go look that up if you don't understand what it is. It's pretty damn clear, the behavior of certain men and why they're doing what they're doing. It's a literal shame in order for you to get tax exemption status with the government, that you have to make all of your members slaves to your foundation. You know, Pastor Dow used to say, or Pastor Giza Motz used to say, own nothing and control everything. Well, I'll ask the question on your communities, if you're a member of one of these communities, what do you own? Probably nothing. And what do you control? Probably nothing. So you own nothing and you control nothing. So what are you? You are a slave. Go look at the bylaws. Everybody works volunteer. According to the bylaws, I think it's kind of crazy that Pastor Dow even put a lien on that property that's down there and then has in his very bylaws that people work for free. How the fuck are you going to be able to swing that when it's in your own goddamn bylaws that people go and work for free, and then you're gonna say that he owes straitway X, Y, and Z, and that's why he can't sell his house because of your stupid ass lien? It's funny when people dig holes and then fall into them themselves. Isn't that what the word says is gonna happen? They lay a net for you, but then they end up getting ensnared in their own goddamn shit. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. You realize I'm being sarcastic because this shit ain't funny. It's fucking sad. It's gonna be a sad day when this judgment stuff comes. I ain't gonna be the one sitting there rejoicing. Nope. But I know what's gonna happen. When this stuff actually does happen and people are possibly behind bars or whatever happens to them, I doubt they'll repent. Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna take the mindset that I'm just being persecuted for my faith. That's why I'm behind bars. I'm like Paul, going to jail. That's why. Yeah, but Paul said, be you no more servants of men. Didn't he say that? But then you want to make men your servants. You're sick. Those who lead into captivity they shall go. Bless y'all. You shall go.